The rich are starting to buy up the Bitcoin available. Now the question is, how much is still left? Are we running out of Bitcoin? And what's going to happen when even more billionaires, multimillionaires, and so on start doing a bank run, a Bitcoin bank run, and try to buy up all the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies possible, since they want to hedge against other assets and is scared for their traditional assets. Now, this is here one example of one super rich Bitcoin buyer. He would like to buy 25% of all available Bitcoin. Now, the question is, of course, is it 25% of the 21 million, or 25% of what's around left, and that would be around 14 to 16 million. Now, the Dadiani Syndicate, which styles itself as an investment platform for maximizing digital holdings, they pair up Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency buyers and sellers together over the counter, big ones, like for large amounts of money. And this one buyer wants to buy 25%. Now the question is, are they going to manage to find enough sellers to even get a few percentage of what he's asking? And at the moment the price is around $8,700 and has quite a bit of a rise. So that's a large sum of money that this buyer is going to have to put up front to be able to buy such a large amount of Bitcoin. So the Dadiani Syndicate was set up by art dealer Elisa Dadiani, who first began using Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies a few years ago. And she says, when I founded the institution, it was a way for people to cash out of their cryptocurrency assets. And Dadiani said, but we found there were people who wanted us to assist them in buying enormous amounts of Bitcoin. Apparently, that's not an exaggeration. So, like here, she says, one of our clients approached us and said they were interested in acquiring 25% of all Bitcoin currently available. Dadiani said there are a number of entities who want to dominate the market. Now, the question, of course, is he actually going to, does he actually know what 25% of all Bitcoin actually means? The thing is, a quarter of all Bitcoin in circulation is around 16 million, with 4.5 million is lost. So at the moment, the value of what he's wanting to buy is around 38 billion US dollars at the current exchange rates. So around 16 million Bitcoin left, for 4.5 to 5 million are lost. And now, of course, knowing this, as soon as a buyer like this starts to buy up large amounts of Bitcoin, the price is going to, of course, go up. And we would notice that, retail investors can't really do that much to influence the price if it goes up that much. Now, of course, slippage is very different between the expected price of a trade and the price at which the trade is executed, and can be made worse by periods of high volatility. So you have to think about it like that. So maybe you might manage to buy the first few percent at the current price point, but then as he buys more and more, the price goes up as the supply gets less and less. So in my opinion, it's more or less impossible for him to buy 25% of the current market. Now, of course, this might all just be hype and marketing from their company. It's not clear. Now, talking about more about the price, around 17 million Bitcoin are in circulation on CoinMarketCap, and then 25% would be 4,430,000 Bitcoin, worth 38 billion, like I mentioned before. But the thing is, this doesn't take into account how the price is going to increase the more and more Bitcoin is being bought by this buyer. So in my opinion, like should it actually be possible, the last 1 or 2 million Bitcoin that he's wanting to buy are going to be so expensive that he might only be able to buy a few, and much less than he was willing to buy at the beginning, because the price increases so much. The thing, and they want to, of course, avoid slippage, so they're going to try and find some Bitcoin sellers that have large amount. But at the moment, Satoshi Nakamoto is not around, He's got around 4% of the coins, apparently. So it's going to be very difficult to find one or even multiple sellers with such an amount of Bitcoin. But talking about billionaires, now this is only one billionaire we're talking about. If we talk about more billionaires wanting to enter the market, what I think is very interesting is, let's see here, we've got a list here. It's a bit of an older list, but I think it's not too far away from the actual values at the moment. And this is a list of the top billionaires and richest people in the world. And Jeff Bezos is at 131 billion US dollars. And the former fund manager is one of the top billionaires in the world. And now we place him, when compared to the cryptocurrency market, at second place after Bitcoin. Bitcoin at the moment has 153.94 billion. So it would put Jeff Bezos in second place. Now the thing is, you can't really take the market cap that you have here in the cryptocurrency as the amount of money in the market. So the thing is, now if billionaires start entering the market and buying up Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP and whatever, the thing is, like, the amount of capital that they throw at the cryptocurrency market, the market capitalization in the cryptocurrency market is going to be like times 10 or times 20. So for each 1,000 US dollars that gets thrown into the cryptocurrency market, the market capitalization is then 10,000 or 100,000 US dollars instead of just the 10,000 US dollars which were put into the market. And that's important to know. Now here we've got on the rich list, we've got Bill Gates on second place at 96.5 billion, and Warren Buffett also on third place at 82.5 billion, which also would put them very high. They would actually put them both above Ethereum, which only has 28.6 billion market cap. Now, of course, it might not be fair to compare these billionaires with the market cap of Bitcoin, like I mentioned before, since the market cap of Bitcoin is not an indication of how much money is actually in the market, but more the valuation of the asset compared to the amount of coins which are around. However, I think like the more billionaires and multimillionaires that are interested in buying, the less and less Bitcoin which there is, which makes sense because of based on supply and demand. However, the thing is, since they've got such a high amount of spendable capital for the investments, they can definitely push the market a lot higher if they want to, especially if it starts becoming a bank run and a craze. You can imagine the same thing happening at the end of 2017 with retail investor pushing the price up to 20,000. Now you can try and imagine what happens when billionaires and multimillionaires get into the FOMO phase and start pushing the price up to maybe 100,000 or even $1 million US dollars. I know these are very far-fetched numbers, but you have to think, even just looking at the multimillionaires and the scarcity of Bitcoin, there is only around 15 to 60 million Bitcoin available, which are not lost and so on. And yeah, so the supply is of course limited. And talking about millionaires, multimillionaires, not just millionaires, multimillionaires, globally around 12 million. So even if for all the millionaires they wanted to buy one Bitcoin, the supply is extremely limited, and that will push the price even more. And that's just talking about multimillionaires. And billionaires, of course, they can buy a much higher amount of Bitcoin. So that was it for today. Hope I could show you a little bit about the scarcity. This is more of a fun video and a video to show what could happen and a perspective in what might be happening if the super rich enter a Bitcoin bank run and start buying up all the supply. So that was it for today, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye bye.